are potentially already released in the files, and they need to be arrested here in the UK. So I don't know why he would be shocked at that. It's really frightening to me. I mean, I have goosebumps.
I'm sorry that you have to feel scared again, and that just after all these years and all the work that you have done, I do want to just mention that in this case, Andrew is being investigated for something other than sexual assault, but he is being investigated for the work that he was doing as a trade attaché. But it is something that is being investigated, and there's been an arrest. Gloria, how did you hear what the president said? And when you see that what's happening in the UK, that there is an arrest of the brother of the king, but we haven't seen anything like that here. What do you make of it all?
Well, I think that the UK is doing what they should be doing here, but are not doing here. And the president said it's a shame for the royal family. I think it's a shame that the Department of Justice in the United States has not released all of the Epstein files, as is required by the Epstein Files Transparency Act. It's a shame that the names were of the survivors were unredacted, so that those who were Jane Doe for so many years had their names exposed, their photos exposed, and they were, in many cases, then suffered from attacks on the internet because of the fact that they were victims, but they were not believed, and they were so courageous. I think it's a shame that the Department of Justice, the Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, announced before he dumped the files on the public, the millions of files that were released, that no one was going to be prosecuted. So, in other words, the kind of, I've made up my mind, don't confuse me with the facts type of attitude, is something that is really disappointing and not something that any prior Deputy Attorney Generals have ever done. So I think what we have to do is say we're happy about the fact that there are some consequences, like arrest and shame for the former Prince Andrew. But again, the root issue is child sexual abuse, child sexual trafficking, and adult females who suffer from sexploitation. And we want to see some accountability for that, if, as, and when there is proof beyond a reasonable doubt that can be presented in a court of law. Lex Wessner was deposed yesterday in Congress, but Congress has never contacted Alicia Arden. And in fact, she was the first one to file a police report about Jeffrey Epstein, alleging he represented Victoria's Secret, and then he sexually assaulted her. And was he ever asked by the Santa Monica Police Department, is he really a representative of Victoria's Secret? Do you know what he's doing out there interviewing models and then touching them and groping them and engaging in inappropriate conduct? Why didn't they investigate more? What answers did they receive? Did even look into that?
Yeah,
Because
gotta
that could
get
have
ready.
protected other women. So there's still more to come. We need accountability in the United States.